Hi folks, it's Pastor Dave from Shepherd of the Valley with your Thursday Thoughts segment when we say goodbye to the gospel of the week before and look ahead to the next one. Now this last Sunday we heard the first of two stories about Jesus calling his disciples, and we suggested that part of the power of it was that the disciples were, at least for the time, somewhat nondescript, somewhat diverse, that it's not easy to tell who's going to be a disciple, and every time we try to say it's because they were smarter or more faithful or better than everybody else, we end up wrong. And this is really interesting when you apply it to our daily lives. Because most people think that in order to serve God, you have to go on a mission somewhere, you have to become a hermit in a cave or be a pastor and preach sermons. Those are ways to serve God, of course. But what about knitting or needlepoint? What about, as we talked about on Sunday, playing Dungeons and Dragons or board games? What about playing a flugelhorn or an oboe? What about running or playing football or whatever it is? The Word of God and the work of God is not confined to certain places and acts. It's not like some things are good inherently and others are bad inherently. And I get this question all the time. Pastor, is this or that a sin? Or is this or that special and holy? The answer is it's probably both, depending on what you do with it. And it's absolutely possible to show the love of God every bit as strongly as in a sermon by making blankets or having coffee with a friend or feeding people or cooking for your family at home. Faith is not a quantity that you have or have not. Instead, faith is a way of doing things that transforms ordinary things into beautiful things and things that are flawed into things that give life. So don't make the mistake of thinking you know who's a disciple and who's not, and don't make the mistake of thinking that the thing you're doing at home has nothing to do with faith, while everything that happens at church automatically is faithful. Neither is true. Instead, ask, for whom am I doing this? Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? And that will give you a way to be faithful with the things you do that's much truer than if you just asked, what am I doing? Or even, who am I to do it? Next week, we're going to hear the second calling story about fishermen and nets from the Gospel of Mark, and we will see you with that on Sunday.